Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Madison Charlton from MLC Tech, and even if you do own something, you are not allowed to be happy. Now, this comes following reports that Hisense TVs have been caught showing non-skippable ads when you change input or channels on your TV, which sounds like a load of complete rubbish, so we're going to have to get into this. Now, what initially began as a handful of online complaints about startup ads has grown into a broader dispute on how far television makers can go to monetize their hardware. Now, Hisense, which is one of the largest Chinese electronics manufacturers at the moment, now how far can manufacturers monetize the hardware that they've already sold you, and how far can they actually push the mark to what they can get away with? Well, Hisense thinks they can push the mark yet again. The Chinese electronic manufacturer being Hisense, one of the largest known manufacturers of TVs in the world at this point, mostly known for their more budget-friendly TVs, though they do dabble in the space of high-end panel manufacturing, is facing massive criticism after users across Europe discovered non-skippable adverts during basic actions such as turning the TV set on, changing channels, or even switching the physical connectors such as HDMI inputs, regardless of software or internal software. Just physically changing the input, which shouldn't be affected by software like this, you get an advert for it. Now, the same behaviour has been documented on Hisense TV models running their own VIDA operating system, which is now being rebranded as Home OS, which also powers smart TVs sold under smaller brands such as Akai, Schneider and Loewe. And it seems this issue has persisted for at least a few years now. One of the first public mentions and highlights of this issue came to light in 2022 when a Reddit user noticed sponsored content in the input selection menu. Since then, complaints have only intensified and it's only got worse, with it being reported that full screen video ads have been appearing mid-navigation. It has also been independently verified by Spanish media outlets that users in Spain were forced to watch ads simply for changing channels, and apparently this has also popped up across the UK and Germany as well. Now, Hisense acknowledges the behaviour finally, but it calls it a temporary spot test only conducted in Spain to evaluate advertising formats linked to free content within the platform. And Hisense also insists the test did not limit functionality and claims it has now apparently been removed. Yeah, of course it has been. We've been caught out. Oh, it was only a limited test that wasn't expected to be rolled out to everyone. We just wanted to see what we could get away with. We swear it was just a spot test for advertising formats linked to free content within the platform. Now, I get it if you got a TV media app that actually displays you content, that serves you content, an app within this TV, and the way they make money is through ads, similar to how YouTube makes their money. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with an advertisement, but if you're mandating that, you have a service or a product that is subsidized through TV ads across your hardware stack, now that is completely unacceptable. Most people just want a screen, want a panel, want to use it for anything. And the fact that displaying ads, if you want to hook up your own device to switch to an HDMI, switch to your PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever device you want to use on your own TV, well, guess what? Your experience to be able to display your own content for free has to be subsidized. And Hisense's explanation on the matter has done little to mitigate any concerns about this, with it being reported that users in other countries continue to report this identical behaviour, suggesting the practice extends far beyond a single market. Now, technical details around the VIDA platform heavily infers that it is tied to an international ad placement partnership with a company called Teads, which is a digital advertising firm with a connected TV network spanning multiple regions. Like I said, if people want to use this service and have to watch ads because that's how it's subsidized, then so be it. But don't extend that to the rest of the TV just because one app or one service is bundled within their smart home system. And to further add to how intentional this limited spot test really is. Hisense own support processes also raises eyebrows. Now it's been reported that several users say they were able to disable the ads on the TV only after emailing the company with their unique TV's identifier, and it's been argued that the ad delivery is centrally controlled on the server side rather than with the local software, which means it's always calling home and always reporting on your data and always having that handshake from a central server. Definitely not a security vulnerability to be exploited. But I guess the silver lining is that these findings have highlighted and spurred the debate around user consent and post-purchase control in connected devices, because the new ads appeared after system updates, so you're retroactively getting ads on your system. It's not like, that horrible Roku TV where it was advertised up front that it is partially subsidized through advertisements, so they were at least up front even though it was terrible. Whereas with Hisense, you're getting ads displayed to you after the fact without your knowledge or without your consent that you're buying a TV subsidized by ads. Now, current advice circulating a lot of user tech forums range from altering DNS settings to cutting off the TV from Wi-Fi entirely, which isn't a bad idea. I did the exact same thing with my LG TVs. For computer monitors, I use LG C4s. My main one is luckily not a smart monitor, that being the LG 45 5K, 4K display. But I manually cut off the internet from these TVs through manual DNS configuration at a router level, because LG was sending off your data and screen data to, third-party providers and partners, which could mean anything. So I had manually shut off LG from communicating outside of my network, because I was like, no, you are not sending my data to anyone, because I choose to use your TV. And even then, I wasn't using any of the smart service apps. LG was able to send off visual screen data from anything that was seen on your screen, so whether that be from an external inputted device as well. And you bet Hisense displaying you ads or also collecting data on you in order to sell you targeted ads and then exploit that data for a bunch of other nefarious purposes, for data harvesting and data collection purposes, which, as we have seen, has been exploited not just to serve your ads, but to create profiles around you, which can be sent off to certain government authorities and can be used to influence and sway and control you at home, whether directly through advertisement platform or potentially handing off your data to authoritarian governments who will then want to use that data to attack you and infringe on your civil liberties. What a timeline we are in. Now, Hisense, for a brand that built its reputation on low prices and solid picture quality, this backlash could really undermine its most appealing customers, especially amongst cost-conscious buyers, which what put Hisense on the map to begin with. Where, quite frankly, most people in this price range want simplicity over complex, monetized experience. Most people just want a TV, they just want to be able to connect their Xbox, their satellite Sky box at home, watch some TV, watch some Netflix, play some games, and not have to be served ads for them using a piece of hardware that they've already forked over their money to. Now, smart TVs as a whole have blended convenience with data collection for quite some time, and is an issue as a whole I have with the entire smart TV market. But Hisense highlights a more egregious example of this and only emphasizes a growing frustration in the ever-connected world of smart devices and web-based smart devices at home. But I really do think that it highlights the bigger issue, and that is ownership. If you pay for a physical item, that's yours, and you should be in control of how you use it, of course to a certain extent, to not commit atrocities, but in your own home, it's your hardware. You can do what you want with it, and you shouldn't be controlled or then further milked because you've already handed over that money. You've not signed some agreement that demands, actually no, I will continue to subsidize the use of this TV through direct monetization or through indirect means such as targeted advertisements. But it just circles back around to the point I made at the start of this video. Even if you do own something, you will never have control of it, and you will never fully be happy because they don't want you to, because any chance they can get to further milk and bleed you dry, Trust me, no one's your friend in this business. Every company's going to do it. But Hisense in particular, it's really left a sour taste in my mouth for my opinion of them. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions around this in the comments down below. What do you think of Hisense shoving ads down your throat just for simply using your TV? I for sure am not impressed and not very happy about this, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, I've been Madison Charlton from MSC Tech. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye for now.